All right, the college football season is over, and now the coaching carousel and the athletics director carousel continues to revolve round and round. Auburn hiring Allen Greene, officially making that announcement on Friday as the new athletics director to replace Jay Jacobs. He is only the third African-American to be named athletic director here in the SEC Conference. He comes from Buffalo. He had 2 years as athletic director there. And first and foremost, just want to get your thoughts, Kevin, on this hire and what he can do for Auburn after Jay Jacobs serving in that role for over a decade.
I don't know, Lauren, if you could come in with less name recognition and make more of a splash than Allen Greene did over the weekend at Auburn. From his initial press conference, he wowed everyone. If this AD thing doesn't work out, he has a future as a stand-up comic. He was so quick on his feet and just disarming everyone with his humor. He was humble. You could tell he was very appreciative of the opportunity. And then on Saturday, he was all over the Auburn arena as Auburn had an incredible comeback to beat Georgia in basketball. He was taking selfies with the students. He's in the locker room celebrating with the players afterwards. It was a tour de force of his introduction to Auburn and Auburn's introduction to him. You know, they really clearly, Dr. Stephen Leath, the president, wanted to go outside the family, and he went way outside the family. I don't think you could find someone who contrasts more with Jay Jacobs than Allen Greene. In many ways, he's the anti-Jay Jacobs.
And he was introduced on Friday in a press conference. Now, as far as when he will actually sit down in that office and start going to work, what I want to know from you, Kevin, is if you're going to make a to-do list and hand it to him, what's that to-do list look like, and prioritize some of those top things at that list for me?
Well, the first thing he's going to have to do is get up to speed on the basketball situation off the court.
Yes.
Because obviously Auburn's having an incredible season on the floor. Bruce Pearl doing his best work there. They are second in the SEC at the moment. They're one of the best teams in the SEC,
and
one of the best teams in the country.
With two of their top guys out.
And no one saw this coming.
Yeah.
I don't care how diehard an Auburn fan people say they are, no one could have seen this coming. That's on the floor. But there is a huge cloud that remains over the program because of the FBI investigation that led to the firing of Chuck Person, the ineligibility of Austin Wiley, who is not eligible until next year. If he chooses to come back, he probably won't, and D'Angelo Purifoy as well. And so where is that going? That's the FBI aspect of that. That's not finished. The NCAA hasn't really jumped in with both feet to investigate to see what else is there. Bruce Pearl has yet to sit down for an in-depth formal interview with Stephen Leath and Lightfoot, Franklin & White, the outside law firm Auburn brought in to investigate. So there are a lot of questions about where this basketball program is going to be beyond this season. And one of Allen Greene's, I think it's his top priority. He's got to get up to speed on that.
I would agree
and
with
just
you on that.
think about the degree of difficulty of having to potentially, and we're not there yet, but potentially having to dismiss a coach who just, I don't know, maybe won the SEC, went to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament, put together the best season the school's seen in 20 years, and now you've got to deal with his potential employment future. I don't envy Allen Greene having to deal with that. And there are lesser issues. Obviously, there's the softball deal, the problems they had there that led to the firing of the coaching staff. You know, where do they go from here? They've already hired a new coach. But how does he set a tone in terms of, he talked a lot about student-athlete experience. How does he set a tone in how coaches deal with student-athletes, how student-athletes are listened to when they encounter problems in the athletic department? Gus Malzahn, that deal is done. He's signed to a 7-year deal. He's going to be the football coach at Auburn for a long time.
Yeah,
but
so the good news is that's something he doesn't have to worry about. He can only hope that the decision that's made, and obviously Auburn will come in and continue to, you know, compete for a national championship under Gus Malzahn. So obviously I know that's the hope, and the football program being at the forefront of that. What about facilities? Is that something you think he's going to get to pretty quickly?
Well, there are a number of issues there relating to football primarily. Gus Malzahn, and this was part of his negotiations. I don't know that it's going to be in the contract when they actually cross all the T's and dot all the I's. But he wants a standalone football operations center, like UAB has down the street, as like many schools do. He doesn't. Right now, they share that building with the administration, the athletics administration, and different functions. He wants a football-only building. He's already communicated that to Allen Greene. Allen Greene made that clear. So I think that's going to be high on the priority list. And then what are they going to do about the stadium, about the north end zone? I mean, the south end zone, you've got the Aubitron. They've made a lot of upgrades there, but it doesn't match. You can look at one end, you look at the other, and you say, how are these part of the same facility?
It's like circa 1995, and then we got 2018 here. Yeah, there's definitely a disparity there.
It's like getting in the Wayback Machine when you go this way, and then it's getting in a rocket and going to the future when you look this way. So
and
they're going to have to work on that.
The press box could certainly use some upgrades as well.
Well, they're already working on moving the press box to the corner of the end zone. Our 50-yard line seats are about to disappear in the coming years, but there's a lot of clamoring from Auburn folks to make that stadium look a lot nicer than it does, particularly on that one end.
Hey, maybe we can put in a menu request for our game day food choices.
As long as they have hot dogs, you know I'm happy.
You got to have hot dogs at halftime, but maybe we can throw in a dessert bar, a sundae bar.
I wouldn't vote against that.
I wouldn't vote against it either. Sounds good. Thank you, Kevin, for all your insight on that. We appreciate it. And for all your updates on the Auburn Tigers, you can visit us on AL.com.